We're talking about the stuff we don't normally talk about in regular conversations about Parkinson's.
Oh, I talk about everything, always. I'm just
Everything always?
no, everything always, really, honestly. Um, Open book. And if it's too personal, I'll let you know it's too personal. I look hideous. I was already sleeping for like 3 hours.
I woke up like this, so don't worry about it.
So I had to get dressed.
I woke up like this.
Atlanta.
Um,
Elena's chilling with me and my little buddy.
oh, I know her. That's Honeybee. Hi.
Hi.
You know me as Spided.
I
You
do.
would?
Yeah,
Biden.
And Chris is live.
Sure.
I'm the trembling EMT.
Told him to latte this morning.
Oh, Balake. Yeah.
yeah.
I have a sneaking suspicion that he hates that, and if that is true, I'm just going to continue to do it because
That's it.
Wait,
Yeah. He's now Kristen Balake. I don't know if you heard me. I'm the trembling EMT.
wait, you're a traveling EMT.
Trembling EMT.
Who travels too?
Oh, how's that? I bet you your patients are really
Well, I used to tell him not to worry until I started shaking, but then I couldn't say that anymore.
well, yeah. Also, how are you setting needles and like IVs and stuff? What are you doing?
So fun fact.
Very concerned.
EKGs. I've always learned. I've been doing EKGs since I was 11, due to my heart condition. But that's a whole other story.
Okay, yeah.
So the placement is always tough. But when I grab a needle, so let me see if I can do it. So when I grab a needle and I focus and pin and go through the motion, my hand stops shaking.
Oh
I
man.
recently
see?
did a duet about that.
Now, if I go to right,
Do you
my
know
hand
what
starts shaking again.
Is it microphagia? Is that the real word? Micrography. Thank you.
So yeah, because I learned it right as the time I got diagnosed. My first symptoms started in fall of 2016. I learned how to put IVs in spring of 2016. So it was around the same time. So it's a new process that I learned. So I still have to walk through the process, where it's not committed to memory like most of our muscle memory items is what we have trouble with. The walking, the holding a pen, the eating. So anything that's committed to muscle memory is where the problem is because of lack of dopamine.
Okay.
I see.
So yeah.
Okay. Hasta luego.
I interviewed a guy one time that he would pipe cakes. He would make cakes, and he said he'd be a mess until he grabbed the piping bag. And the minute he grabbed the piping bag, his hand would stop shaking.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Cool.
I'm trying to think of anything that I grab at all when my hand stops trembling. Oh, actually, as you can see, my motor symptoms are pretty well controlled. It's everything else that's jacked up.
Well, when you start carving in on the eggshells, does the tremor bother you then?
Not really, actually. I have a very short off period between doses, so I just time it in there.
We lost. So, just so we stay on topic as far as
Oh,
conversation.
we have a topic.
Yes, things
Okay,
that you normally wouldn't. What things would you say if you could say something to someone without remorse or truthful about Parkinson's? What would you say?
What would I say if what? Again?
Say it
sorry.
again.
Something that you normally wouldn't say about Parkinson's to someone outside of your circle.
Okay,
they-
so
they
like
don't
a
know.
total stranger,
A total stranger.
Educate
Yes.
them about
Yeah.
no
well,
holds barred.
No holds bar. No.
It affects every square inch of your life, and nothing is unaffected, and it sucks worse than you could possibly imagine. Ta-da.
Well stated.
Like if you think about literally
Gotta drop the mic.
every, yeah. Oh,
Kind of was.
Something.
Well, thank you for the TED Talk.
Thank you for the
Some of my
TED
TED
Talk.
this is what I do. Yeah, just shut it down.
But I mean, it is. That's the thing. I mean, people don't realize that it does affect
Yeah.
everything.
Well,
Yeah.
and you know why that is? Because for the longest time, and we still call it a movement disorder. And
Yeah.
I don't know if I've shown you, Chris. I think I shown Blake. I'm creating this course, and there's a list of 10 movement symptoms. But the list of non-movement symptoms is about 20 long.
30, yeah, somewhere in
It's a
there.
movement disorder. It's an autoimmune disorder. It's a bunch of things.
But so, and my best thing is when my mom does it the most. She goes, "Oh, you're doing good. You're not shaking." I said, "No, you don't notice I'm shaking, and that's not even my worst symptom." I said,
Yeah.
"Sometimes I wish I was shaking and not the other symptoms that you can't see."
Agree.
Yeah, show of hands who wishes that this was just shaking.
Oh, just that? Yeah. Heck
Yeah,
yeah.
without a doubt. I could shake all day. I don't care.
Hell, I don't
I
really
re-
have tremor, so yeah, I'll take it.
Right.
Chris is like,
Right.
down.
For the longest time, we're still kind of working on it. I don't know, most of you don't know, but I currently am dual diagnosed with essential tremor and Parkinson's. And that's why
Oh.
it took me like 15.
So does
20
Blake.
years, 20.
Blake's
Oh,
got-
really? High five, dude.
Yeah, I'm working on that myself, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm going back
Yeah.
to the doctor in January.
Mm.
I thought the essential tremor and Parkinson's was like two opposite ends of the spectrum. Basically, you couldn't make them both. I assumed one or the other.
Well, the problem, correct me if I'm wrong, the problem is when they diagnose you with one and then confirm the other one, they don't take the other one back. They just leave it there.
Well, and
Not entirely accurate for me. I was diagnosed with essential tremor in 2010. And then in 2016 is when I got the dual diagnosis. And the problem with either one of those is that my tremor rate would sometimes be fast and sometimes be slow. So
Okay.
obviously we don't have a clear timeline on when any of that was overlapping. My husband told me that, hey, you tremor all the time now, not just when you're moving around.
Mhm.
So that was part of it. We had moved in 2013, and I noticed that as I was unloading all my shoes into my new closet, all of my left shoes were worn down more than my right.
Yeah.
You know, little things like this that you notice, and you're just like, why is that? Why is my, that doesn't make any sense. Why am I walking more
Right.
on my left than my left? Just little things like that. And then one day I just couldn't, we were walking around the neighborhood and I couldn't pick up my foot, and I was like, oh,
Oh,
okay,
snap.
that's more than essential tremor.
Light
Well, I
bulb.
was gonna say, my wife was diagnosed with essential tremor when she was like about 15 or 16,
Mm,
and she's had a steady tremor all over her body. Has been this way
Yeah.
since she was
Mhm.
16,
Yeah.
for as long as she could basically remember. She's 52
Tail
now.
is oldest.
And, exactly. But I was recently diagnosed. When I first went in, they thought, well, maybe it's just essential tremors. That might be all that is. And then 6 months go by, and then it spreads over into my one half of my body,
Yeah.
as opposed to just my hand. They go, oh, Okay, well, we need to look
Yeah.
into this a little bit further. It's all over on one half. So,
Oh.
are you saying that your Parkinson's and your tremor, your central tremors, does that mean that on one side it has a different rate than the other, or how does that?
No. I'm bilateral, both
Mom's
arms, both
name.
hands, both
Oh,
legs, both feet.
okay.
That's
So,
gross.
and I don't know, because I was in my early 20s and I didn't take very good care of myself back then.
Who did?
So I'm not
Yeah.
that great at it now, but
Mhm.
I don't know. I remember where it started was in my left pinky. I
Okay.
don't remember the rate of like, was it all left and then all right, or was it hands and then feet? I don't remember the
Oh,
progress.
Yeah.
And it's not documented anywhere because, long before EMRs and all of my before records are destroyed. So who
oh,
knows? Yeah. Yeah, I wasn't very consistent on going to the doctor because they weren't, it was out of pocket and it was expensive. I was a poor 20-year-old, something, 30-year-old.
right.
And,
Oh, plus
none
they're
of them were
gaslighting you.
really exactly.
Yeah.
I got a lot of different things to chase down, but nothing, no one ever offered me medication. No one ever
Mhm.
offered a spiral test, which is, Steve will attest to, that's how in Balake will attest to, that's how you get diagnosed with essential tremor. So the first time I drew a spiral was in 2010, and I have been shaking since I was 19 or 20.
Oh,
So yeah, so that was like 15 years. I was about 35, 36. So
wow.
I drew the spiral, and my doctor literally held up a textbook, and he's like, "Ta-da, these match." I'm like, "Oh, well, why did it take 15 years for somebody to give me a piece of
Yeah.
paper and a pen?"
I mean, and on one hand, it just kind of like you're happy at they're being cautious about giving just handing out diagnoses, but at the same
Yeah,
time, you're looking for an answer,
yeah.
and
And
it's
treatment would have been cool.
yeah, treatment would have been nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, back to the question. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, sorry.
What would you say to
It's
someone if you
it's
can
the
say
germ
something
trauma.
without being candid and about your Parkinson's?
How would I answer them without being candid?
Yeah, if you can, because now when someone asks you how you doing, you usually say I'm fine or I'm good. How would you honestly answer that to someone?
If they ask me
What would you
specifically
actually say if you
If
weren't
you can
hiding
say
anything?
something without if you can be completely honest.
about
Uh,
if they ask you about Parkinson's,
Yeah.
that's a freaking
Is that
squatter. You can get it out.
is
I
that to
mean,
me?
it's
Yeah.
ridiculous.
No, to Steve.
uh, yeah,
Mm.
I hate answering that question when people ask me that because I really don't have. I mean, it's all relative. It's like depending on the day,
Yep.
the
Yeah.
morning, the time of day.
Wow.
Sometimes it's worse than others, but it's never normal.
Yeah.
So
But
so I don't
how
know.
do you answer that to, say, a stranger saying, "Oh, cashier saying, 'Oh, how are you today?'" Do you say, "I'm
Yeah,
fine," or
yeah.
like
Uh,
I would say closed circle gets the actual real information.
that's
The
it.
outer circle of uh, friends, supporters, whatever, get
Yep,
a version of the truth, saying,
yep,
today's not a great day. Yesterday
Yeah.
was pretty horrible.
yeah.
I'm on an upswing. I'm on a downswing. I'm changing meds. You
Yeah.
know, People
Yep.
in the outer circle don't necessarily know what a meds change looks like,
Right.
No.
but
Or an
to
off period.
strangers, yeah, to
Or off
strangers, I'll just
period.
say
Yeah.
today is a good day or today's not a great day. General.
Yep.
Today's not great, but
Yeah.
I'm
But I
here.
was gonna say, I
The thing
um
is that we don't ever leave the house when things are bad. So
no.
when people see us out in the world, they're like,
Right.
"Oh,
I
Parkinson's
do.
isn't that bad, What does
I
she
have.
have a handicap placard for?"
Yeah, that's
Whatever.
true. It's judgy.
Yeah, it is. But I'm pretty confrontational. I'm
I am
okay
too.
with having difficult conversations with strangers and friends alike.
Mhm.
Just to, because I feel like, just like we're all friends here now, just like bedroom activities, I'm not going to lie about how well I'm doing to you for your benefit. So if I'm not doing well, I'm going to say I'm not doing well. You know, I don't lie about orgasms and I don't lie about Parkinson's.
A
That's my
for
rule.
effort, F for performance. Bye bye.
Exactly. You know, I'm not faking anything. It takes too much energy and it does the disease a great disservice to say that I'm
Yeah.
fine all the time when I'm not.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's
I'm
not enough
not.
energy in the world to keep lying to people.
Exactly.
Well, that and,
I
and,
mean,
and at the same time, you're lying to yourself if that's the way you're answering, because
exactly.
that's one of the when we started the conversation, I said stuff that you don't say to others is a lot of times the stuff that you're not admitting to yourself.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, look at how insightful you are. That is
Well,
facts.
Yes.
I was gonna say it's like I have friends and family ask me how I'm doing, and I'm saying, and I don't burden them with a bunch of like details because
No, no.
that's it is what it is. And then when it comes to
Hmm.
strangers, I'm fine because they don't
Right.
know me, and it's just casual, polite conversation. Whenever a person's like meeting you for the first time, and they're
Right.
just checking you out, they don't even know you for like 10 seconds. So,
Hmm.
um,
You don't want to
but
scare them
if I
away.
have a bad day, my family they know when I have a bad day. So, but I
Oh
don't
yeah.
go into detail of what it is that I'm going through at that time. The neurologist is more likely to hear more about it than anything else.
Now, is that, if you don't mind me asking, is that your immediate family that you don't tell the reason why you're having a bad day?
I don't go into detail. It's hard. It's kind of hard for me to. Okay, full like total honesty.
Total honesty.
Total honesty. I don't want to sound like a whiny bitch.
Yeah, that's the problem I had. Yeah, I get it.
I
Really?
don't. I don't. It's like I'm having a bad day. Well, what's going on? I'm just having a bad day. You know?
I don't
Because
know what to do with my hands. Kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, that's. I mean, Angie, we had that conversation a couple weeks ago, and she was like, she says, I need to. She says, I don't understand how you feel like when you're having, a bad day, and I was like, well,
Yeah.
shit, I don't know exactly
Yeah.
how I feel when I'm having a bad day. I mean, it's
Yeah.
like today, so both sides of my shoulder, my trapezius, were just locked up, basically, just
Mm.
dystonic cramp, and it was basically
Yep.
shutting down use of my hands.
Yeah. Yep.
And she's like, did you not take your meds? I was like, no, I took my meds. I took an extra half. I took 3 muscle relaxers.
Hmm.
Like I've been
Hmm.
stretching. I was like, I've got this cane.
Oh,
This
hey, where are you putting that?
well,
Chris,
right now here. But
Right
like
now.
this is the third one because I've broken 2 of them. Because that's as part of my symptoms.
Get really
It's so
tight in that area.
dystonic that literally, like, I can feel it basically crushing the nerves that go to my hand.
Yeah, exactly. I've had my foot cramp up so bad I could have sworn I broke a bone.
Oh yeah.
It's,
Yeah.
and then you feel it the next day and it's so sore, it's just never ending.
And I mean, how, like Steve said, I mean, how, you're trying to relay that information to somebody.
Yeah.
And you don't want to sound like, you're just whining.
Yeah.
But I mean,
But there's a limit to not,
with the chronic condition, can it be considered whining?
and that's what I was about to say. There's a limit. There's a limit to not saying anything, or because you eventually have to let those people in to say, hey, this is what's bothering me. This is what's on my mind, because they might take it as you're trying to push them away, or you don't want them to be involved.
Yeah, you make a good point.
Which it boils down to basically, this is what you're getting now with me.
Right.
Exactly.
This is it's part of it's the package deal. Um,
Yeah.
you introduce yourself. Hi, I'm Chris. I still have Parkinson's.
Yay.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep. I mean, it's yeah. I mean, how do you? I don't know.
A couple of weeks ago, I went to a cookie swap at my sister's friend's house, who I know peripherally, and there are obviously a lot of people there that I didn't know. And there's this one woman talking about her sister-in-law with fibromyalgia,
Oh.
and she was just going, and I'm pretty steady, some motor wise at that moment anyway, and she was going on and on and on about how horrible it must be to live with such a terrible chronic illness that's just getting worse and worse, and how she's trapped in her body and she's the shell of somebody that used to be outgoing and funny and engaging, and she's just not that person anymore, and she's always in pain. Like, she was just going on, and the people that I knew were just like, who's gonna say it? Who's gonna say it? So I let her go, just vent everything that she did, and I let the awkward silence sit there. I didn't relieve her of how uncomfortable she made the room, because I thought that would be a good lesson for her. And I just let it sit there, and she said, "What? Did I say something?" And I said, "Well, you kind of did, and here's what everybody here already knows, and I'm going to have to clue you in, because even though we just met, I need to tell you that I have young onset Parkinson's disease, and everything that you just said is kind of offensive to me, because it shows how insensitive you are to being someone that you really love and care for, and complaining about what she's going through only silences her." And she's just like, my sister was like kicking me under the table, like, "Why'd you have to say that?" But I just felt like, you're a trusted caregiver, and you're at a cookie swap openly.
She's not a caregiver for
Yeah,
Right.
and she's just, just sitting there complaining about how horrible her life is because of her sister-in-law's fibromyalgia. Like, and how horrible it was for her to witness somebody deteriorating before her eyes. And I'm like, yeah, what do you think my sister's going through? It's just like, so I took it as an opportunity to educate. That's what we say. And she's like, "Oh, she tried to backpedal, but it didn't. I didn't let her do it." So hopefully she understands what, as horrible it is for you to witness your sister-in-law's suffering, she's not telling you even half of what her experience is.
No.
Right.
So, maybe be a little kinder, or find some help if you're finding this overwhelming.
Yeah, how do you explain to someone that you live with a condition that basically makes you uncomfortable in your body?
Yeah.
Like,
I was at a brunch and somebody asked me, "What does it feel like? Like, what does it actually feel like?" And I'm like, "Okay, have you had COVID yet?" And great majority has. Or remember your last flu? It's like that all day. That's a good day. If it's just like that, could you work that day? Yeah, probably. You wouldn't be the best employee ever, but you could get through the day. Could you go
Sure.
grocery shopping? Yeah, maybe, I can do a couple of aisles, but that's it. I'm going to be wiped. That's all I have for the day. Could you prepare dinner? On and on. And, that's what a general overlook of chronic illness is that, yeah, you can get through anything, but it's not going to be your best. And that's all you're going to have for the day.
Right.
and then you pay for it the next day,
Exactly.
Or the next 2 days.
next 2 days.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I tell everybody, I rested all day yesterday so I could be here at brunch, and I have tomorrow off. So, you know, just because I look great for you right now, it doesn't mean it didn't come without a ton of preparation just to sit at brunch.
Right.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh
maybe
yeah,
I'll get a
everything has
little
a
bit.
price.
Everything has a price.
Yeah. It's like everything with Parkinson's is very much like a rob Peter to pay Paul situation. Like
Yes.
it's just you know like a round robin of what you're willing to tolerate for that day. You
Right.
know,
So
but
Chris had to take extra meds today. So what is that going to mean for him tomorrow?
yeah,
You
or
know, and if you
dyskinesia,
right,
whatever.
if you do that regularly enough, he's going to run out of meds. You know, it's just
Hmm.
you know, it's everything is all day management, all day management.